This lesson is HTML5 geolocation. In this lesson, you will learn how to find the user's location using the geolocation API and how to display the user's location on a map using Google Maps. This lesson is intended to provide a brief introduction to locating a user with JavaScript and displaying their location on a road map. While geolocation has been made available through a number of different methods in the past, the new geolocation API provides a more consistent way to detect the user's location. Geolocation does not require any external libraries, it simply relies on a browser with support for geolocation. Since geolocation simply locates the user, homemade or third-party code, such as Google Maps, would be required to visualize the user's location. To begin this activity, you'll want to open up the map.html file in your text editor. A simple setup function has already been defined for this activity. This function will automatically be called when the page loads, and will check for the availability of the geolocation API through a simple if statement. If supported, the setup function will automatically attempt to detect the user's location. The navigator.geolocation object used here contains functions designed to find or track the user's position. As you can see from this example, navigator.geolocation's getCurrentPosition function is being called. This function will ask the user for permission to share their location with your website. The two arguments used here indicate functions to be called in the event of the success or failure of a location attempt. The showLocation function would be called in the event of a successful location detection. At the time when this function is called, the user has already agreed to share their location, and the geolocation API has determined that user's location. The position argument defined here contains information returned from the geolocation API, such as the detected location and a timestamp from when the location was determined. The first step is to use this position object, specifically the geographic coordinates inside, to indicate a center point for a new Google map. This is done using the following line of code creating a center point for a new Google map. The position.coords.latitude and position.coords.longitude are taken directly from the geolocation API. These values indicate the latitude and longitude of the user. Now that the center point for the map has been defined, several other pieces of information are needed by Google Maps, such as the starting zoom setting for the map and which type of map it will be displaying. A simple object is used by Google Maps containing at least 3 of these settings, as demonstrated by the following. The Google Maps API simply requires this Map Options object previously defined and a reference to a specific div inside of the document. The reference we will be using is simply called Map Canvas, as seen below. A reference to this div has already been obtained inside of the setup function and is now known as the variable Map Canvas. The final step is to plug in the required values into a new copy of the Google map. This map reads through the information provided and displays a map inside of the specified div. Now that the final pieces are in place, we can move to our browser to preview this file. After the user has agreed to share their location, Google Maps will then use that location to display their position on a map.